So today's post is not a book trailer, it's not a image, it's not a previous project, it's not a shameless plug in any way whatsoever. You know what, before I get started, I have to take that last part back and say you must read the series, An Angel Named Sin. And that's An Angel Named Sin and An Angel Named Sin verse 2. And you have to read them both because when you do, it will improve your life in unimaginable ways. You will feel lighter than air. Now, there isn't actually any real self help information contained within the books. Nevertheless, once you read them, you will feel amazing. But that's just one facet of the whole thing. See, the big part about reading both books, if you read both books, you will obtain superpowers. You heard me. Superpowers. Now, here's the problem. When I wrote the books, I did some testing, and most of the people who read both books got the superpowers, but there was a minority of people who did not get powers. Now, for those people who read both books and you don't get superpowers, I'm very sorry. I apologize. I tried. I tried to make it so it would work for everyone, but it didn't. Some people walked away without powers, but that's not what this is about. The other day, I posted the pilot episode of a series I wrote called Bobby the Bomb. And after I posted it, it motivated me to go back and read that whole season because it's been so long. And two things happened when I read it. Thing one, I forgot just how offensive Bobby the Bomb is. It's one of the most offensive things I've ever read. At the same time, I couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest thing I've ever read. And I actually had that thought, like, wow, this is the funniest thing I've ever read. But then my next thought was, shut up, asshole. Of course it's the funniest thing you've ever read. You wrote it, and you're biased. And that's true. However, it was still very funny. And then I thought to myself, shouldn't it be the funniest thing I've ever read? I wrote it. I should feel like it's the funniest thing I've ever read. And then I thought about it, and I thought, does everyone else feel this way? Because I feel like they should. If you write, you should be your favorite writer. I hear people say, this is my favorite author, and that's my favorite author, and that's totally cool, but some of those people are writers, and those people I don't get. You should always be your favorite. You should always love what you write more than anything else you read. And if you don't feel that way, that means there's room for improvement. That means you're not writing it right. You're not doing it right because you don't love it as much as you love something else. And I feel like that's the outlook we should all have. I mean, as a writer, you write for the masses. You write to entertain, you write to educate, you write to motivate, you write to invoke emotions, you write for all these reasons for the masses. But shouldn't you do that for yourself as well? Shouldn't you get all of that out of what you write as well? And so for people who write and they're not their favorite writer, I have to ask, well, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know, like I said, you write for other people, but you should also write for you. If you can't read something and say, damn, this is the best thing I've ever read, well, then you need to start over. You should always feel like what you write is the best thing you've ever read. And if you don't, start over.